Alright guys, today we are going to do equations of lines. Really what I'm going to teach you is how to get it into this y equals mx plus b form in the different ways. So once again, y equals mx plus b is slope-intercept form. M is your slope, alright, meaning the number in front of the x. When it looks like this, alright, only when it looks like this, if you have like 3x plus 5y equals 7, this is not your slope. You haven't gotten to the slope-intercept form yet, so this isn't anything. So m is your slope, b is your y-intercept. Remember, intercept means where it crosses that axis, y being the y-axis. So y-intercept. So you get slope and y-intercept. So y-intercept is the point where the line crosses the y-axis. As a point, it will look like 0, comma, whatever the number is for the y-intercept, okay? Where b is the y-intercept. Alright, so first, write an equation with the line of y-intercept is 0, -3. That means our y-intercept is -3, and slope is 1/4. Well, since it's y equals mx plus b, we're going to put y equals... Alright, m is the slope, so our slope right here is 1/4. So we put 1/4 where the m would go, x behind the 1/4. And since this is a -3, we're going to put -3. Alright, that's all you got to do. Is we have our slope and we have our y-intercept. All we did was we changed out the m and the b to be 1/4 and -3. So, what I want you to do is pause the video. Okay. Do the same with 3/5 and 0.9. Alright. Once again, 3/5 is our slope. 0.9 is our y-intercept, meaning we're looking at this 9 right here. It's a positive 9. So y equals mx. Alright, the m being 3/5, so we're going to replace m with 3/5 x plus 9. Okay, positive 9, so it's going to be plus 9. That's all you got to do. Now, that's only if you have these little points, 0 something, 0 something, and they give you the slope. Now, there's other ways, okay? The other way is if they just give you a random point, period. Okay? So, finding the y-intercept. Now, sometimes you're given your slope, okay? You're given your slope, which is -3, and you're given a point, which is 1, -5. Notice, this is not a 0 right here, so we can't do what we just did before. But we can do something that's just like it, okay? So, remember, we're trying to get into the y equals mx plus b, right? Y equals mx plus b. Well, right now, let's see what we actually have. We have the slope. Alright, our slope is our m. We have our x is our 1. We have our y, which our y is -5. Okay? So, this is a little trick to finding your b. Alright, so we know these 3 letters. What we're trying to find is the 4th letter. So let's just fill this in. M is -3. X is 1 plus b. Y is -5. Alright? So we have -5 equals -3 times 1 plus b. At this point, you're just solving a normal equation, like solving for x type of thing. So, -3 times 1 equals -3 plus b. How do we get rid of that -3? Well, the only way to do that is -3, so we have to add 3 to both sides. So finally we get b equals -2. So b equals -2. Now the point was to write the equation in slope-intercept form. Okay? Meaning the y equals mx plus b form. Well, we just figured out what our b was. We know what our m is. So just like before, we're just going to fill them in. Y equals -3. X. B is -2. So this would be your end equation. Alright? This would be your end equation. So, now, that's when you're given the slope and a point. Now, let's see what happens when we have 2 points. So, this one's a little bit more difficult. We need a slope now. How are we going to find the slope? Well, think about it. How do we find slope with 2 points? If you said the slope formula, then you'd be right. So it would be y2 minus y1. Alright, first we're going to find our slope. Alright, so we're going to find our slope this way. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, this is our x1. Right next to it's the first y, so it's y1. This is our second x, that's x2. This is our second y, so it's y2. So what we're going to do is we're going to have -5. Alright, -5 replace y2 minus y1, which is 0, all over -4 minus 4, which will equal -5. Because -5 minus 0 is -5. -4 minus 4 is -8. 2 negatives makes a positive. Alright, now, that's how we find slope. Okay, we only have found slope so far. Now let's go back. We have 2 points here. Remember, over here, they only gave us the slope and 1 point. Over here, they gave us 2 points. So what we did was we first found the slope. Now, what's stopping us from doing what we just did before? Let's pick one of the points. I'm going to pick this point right here because it looks like it's the easiest. Alright, so I'm going to pick 4, 0, and using my slope of 5/8, I'm going to figure out what the y-intercept is. Okay? So, y equals mx plus b. Remember, y, so we've got our point, which is now 4, 0. Alright, remember we got this point from up here. We got it from the equation. And we got our slope, which is 5/8. Now, this is our m, this is our x, this is our y. So, let's plug this into the y equals mx plus b. Okay? So, we're going to plug it in. Y. Well, my y is 0, so 0 equals my m, which is 5/8. Alright? Times my x, which is 4, plus b. So right now we have 0 equals 5/8 times 4. Well, if you put this into your calculator, alright, you'll get something like this. I suggest putting this in your calculator. 5 divided by 8. Alright, so what you want to do first, 5 divided by 8, you will get, I believe, 6.25. Yeah, let's go 6.2. Maybe, wait. Actually, it might be, yeah, I think it's 6.25. We'll just pretend it's 6.25. I'm going to do it the long way. Alright, so 5 times 4 is 20. That over 8. Okay, that reduces down to 10 over 4, which reduces down to, so if you put this in your calculator, if you took 5 divided by 8, multiplied that by 4, you would end up with, it looks like 2.5. Okay? You would end up with 2.5. So, I apologize, I'm going to bring this up here. Alright, I'm going to turn this sideways. Okay, so I've got 2.5, so I've got 0 equals 2.5 plus b. Okay? So remember, first we found slope. Alright, first we found slope using this, using the 2 points. Then we took one of our 2 points, okay, and our slope, and we plugged them in. We ended up with this part right here, which is equals 2.5. And now we're just reducing stuff down. So 0 equals 2.5 plus b. Well, the only way to get rid of a positive 2.5 is a minus. So minus 2.5. So negative 2.5 equals b. So my b is negative 2.5. My slope is 5/8. So now I can make my equation. So the final equation would be y equals 5/8, which is my slope, x, minus my b, so minus, or plus my b, but since it's negative, it's minus 2.5. And that is how you find your answer. Alright, next one. Try these next two on your own, then unpause it. I'm going to go pretty quickly on those when you unpause it. Okay, remember, we got slope, we got our m, we got our x, we got our y. M, x, y. So let's plug these in. 5 equals the m, which is negative 4, times the x, which is negative 2, plus b. Okay? So that means that 5 equals 8 plus b, because negative 4 times negative 2 equals 8. Subtract 8, subtract 8. B gets negative 3. Now, you're not always going to get a negative for B. I just have been getting it negative, and I apologize about that, but not to confuse you. B does not always have to be negative. So we now know our B. We now know our M. Let's put it into the formula. Y equals mx. So negative 4x plus B. Since B is negative 3, it's going to be minus 3. That's your answer. Alright, so we got these 2 points. We have to find slope first. Alright, because we have 2 points, we have to find slope first. x1, y1, x2, y2. So it's going to be 0 minus 2 all over 2 minus a negative 1. Alright, that's negative 2 over 3, because this becomes a plus plus. Okay, so that's negative 2 over 3. Now that we have our slope, let's pick a point. The easiest point to me, I think, is this one right here. Okay, so I'm going to use the point 2, 0, and then I'm going to use the slope negative 2, 3. Okay, so once again, all we're doing is we are trying to get it into the y equals format. Now let's plug it in. My x, my y. Remember, the reason why we're doing this, we're trying to find the b, the y-intercept first. That's the only reason why we're doing this. So my y is 0. 0 equals, okay, 0 equals my x, which is 2. Alright, not my x, my slope, which is negative 2/3, times my x, which is 2, plus b. Okay? Now when you multiply this out, you get 0 equals negative 4 over 3. If you put this in your calculator, this is what it'll look like. 0 equals negative 1.3 repeating plus b. To get rid of this negative 1.3 repeating, you add 1.3 to both sides. And you get b equals 1.3 repeating. We know our b, we know our slope. Let's put it in the y equals format. Y equals our m, which is our slope, 2/3, x plus 1.3 repeating. Alright, done with the first page. Now, find an equation from a graph. Okay, finding an equation from a graph. Alright, so there's many different ways you can do this. However you choose to do it is how you choose to do it. First way is to find the slope. Okay, first thing is find the slope. Let's find the slope. So we've got here, alright, so this is at 0, this is at 3. Okay, so these are 2 points. So this is what I'm going to do. Alright, since I have 2 points, I'm just going to do the same thing I did back on the first page and just use those 2 points to find my slope. And then after I find my slope, I'm going to find my y-intercept. So I'm going to do it like that. So I know my 2 points are 3, 1, 2, 0. So I have 3, 1. And my second point is 2, 0. So let's find our slope. x1, y1, x2, y2. So we're going to take 0 minus 1 over 2 minus 3, which equals negative 1 over negative 1, which equals 1. So our slope is 1. I'm going to pick one of the 2 points. It's between 3, 1 and 2, 0. Well, 2, 0 is easier, so let's do it that way. So we've got 2, 0. This is my x, this is my y. My slope is 1. So let's plug this into the formula. 0, which is y equals, so 0 equals 1 times 2 plus b. So 0 equals 2 plus b. Subtract 2. Subtract 2 from both sides. You get b equals negative 2. So we know b is negative 2. We know slope is 1. So it's y equals 1x minus 2. Alright. Now the other way is if your stuff is more defined like this is. Alright. It's more refined like this is. Alright, so we can already tell what our y-intercept is. Over here we couldn't really tell what a y-intercept was, and that's why I did like this. But over here we can definitely tell. So you've got 1 point here, okay? So notice how we can tell what the x and the y coordinate of this is. Alright, even though they told us, I could definitely tell what the x and y coordinate was anyway. Now let's pick another point. Well, another clearly defined point is this one right here, okay? So I can tell that that's a point, and I can tell that that's a point. So this is an easy way to tell your slope, okay? So instead of actually using those 2 points to do it like we did over on the last problem, let's just actually count it up. So let's see. We're going from left to right, right? So we're going to start at the left point, and we're going to go right. So we go over, so it's rise over run. So now, since this is up top and this is below, we have to go down. So this is going to be negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we went down 8. So our slope is negative 8 over something. Alright, so we went down 8. We're right here. Let's see how far over we go over. Okay, we go over 1, 2, 3, 4. So we went over 4. Okay, down 8 over 4. So negative 8 over 4, which is negative 2. Okay, that's our slope. The other thing, alright, our y-intercept. What is our y-intercept? It's a positive 5. So you know that b equals 5. So we know slope is negative 2, b equals 5. Well, that was easy. Let's just do it like this. Y equals my mx, so my m, negative 2, and my x, plus my b, which is 5. There you go. Okay? I want you to pause the video, and I want you to try this one with your method of choice. Alright. So this one's a little bit more difficult because of the fact that I cannot see my y-intercept. So I'm going to do it like the one up here rather than the one right here because this one is not clearly defined. So I got 1 point right here at 6, 3. I'm going to find another point right here. I can pretty much tell what that is. That's at 2, 0. So I've got point 2, 0, and I've got point 6, 3. Okay, let's find my slope. Now you can do slope in your way if you want to, I don't care. This is just how I like to do it. Okay? I'm never going to restrict you guys on how you want to do it as long as you get the right answer. So y2, so it's going to be 3 minus 0 over 6 minus 2. 3 minus 0 is 3. 6 minus 2 is 4. Slope, 3/4. Alright, easiest point of the two is this one. So we're going to put point 2, 0. Our slope, which is 3 over 4. Okay, so x, y. My y is 0. My x is 2. So it's 3/4 times 2 plus b. You put this in your calculator, you can get 0 equals 6/4 plus b, or if it's in your calculator, it'll be 1.5 plus b equals 0. The only way to get b by itself is subtract 1.5 from both sides. So b equals negative 1.5. So we know our slope is 3/4, our b is negative 1.5. Let's put this in the thing. So we start with y. Y equals our slope, m, so it'd be 3/4 x. Okay, oh wait, don't forget the x. Plus the b, which is negative 1.5. Okay? That's how you solve or put it into that type of format. Alright. Vertical horizon line. These aren't too bad. Okay? So, the best way to figure out whether or not it's going to be an x or y is, notice, what part does this cross? What axis does this cross? Well, this is the x-axis, so it's going to be x equals, alright? And what number does it cross? It crosses the 3, so x equals 3. So when you have a straight up and down line vertical, or a horizontal line which goes left and right, you're going to do the same thing. To figure out if this is, okay, so what does this cross? Does it cross the x or the y? Well, it crosses the y, so it's going to be y equals. Where is it crossing the y? Well, it crosses the y on the 5, so it's y equals 5. That's how you tell the difference between a horizontal, which is this one, and a vertical, which is this one. Alright, final step, what I was actually going to explain in the last video that I realized I should have saved for this video, and I did, is how to find perpendicular lines. You guys had a little bit of confusion on what perpendicular lines were. Okay. No, whoops, this should be parallel lines, my bad guys. This should be parallel lines. Parallel lines, alright? How to find parallel lines. So find an equation of a line points, alright, gives you a point 4, 4, and parallel to the line this. Alright, so it's in this format, so we don't know the slope. But what we do know about parallel lines is that they have the same exact slope, different y-intercepts. So same exact slopes, different y-intercepts. Now we gotta get this looking like the y equals in order to actually solve this. Okay? So we want to get this y by itself. So first we gotta get rid of this 2x. So subtract 2x. Okay? Subtract 2x. We get 3y equals negative 2x minus 6. The only way to get rid of this 3 in front of this y is divide. Okay, you're going to see this pattern to always add or subtract the x and then divide by whatever's in front of the y. That's how we get this into this form. Y equals negative 2/3 x. This reduces down to negative 2. Now all we care about is the slope. Our slope right here is negative 2/3. Okay, negative 2/3 is our slope. Parallel lines have the same slope, so we know our slope. Okay, slope. Okay, so let's go back. We know slope is negative 2/3. We know point. All right, they give it to us in the problem. Is 4, 4. All right, this is our x. This is our y. We're going to do the same exact thing that we've been doing before. You're just going to plug all this into the y equals mx plus b format. What do we know? We know our y. We know our m. We know our x. We know all of these, okay? But we don't know our b. So, let's plug these in. Y is 4 equals m, which is slope, which is negative 2/3, x, which is also 4, plus b, okay? Alright, now let's multiply this out. You put this in your calculator, you'll get 4 equals negative 8/3 plus b, or what you can actually see when it comes out of your calculator, 4 equals Negative 2.6 repeating plus b. The only way to get rid of this 2.6 is to add 2.6 to both sides. Alright. I do apologize that I ran out of room. So that means that b equals 6.6 repeating. Okay? So that's our b. We know our slope. We know our y-intercept. Now we can plug it in. Okay, so we can make our little equation. So it's going to be y equals slope, negative 2/3, x plus b, or b is 6.6 repeating. So it's like that. See if you can try the next one. If not, just keep paying attention. Find equation containing the point 8, negative 3, and parallel to the point, or to the line 3x plus 4y equals 1. So let's do this again. Subtract 3 from both sides. Alright. We need to get the slope out of this because we're trying to find parallel. Parallel means same slope. So we get negative 3x plus 1. Sorry. Get rid of this 4 in front of the y. We divide by 4, divide by 4, divide by 4. So that means y equals, okay, y equals negative 3/4 x plus 1/4. Now we don't care about this 1/4. All we do is care about this negative 3/4. That's our slope. Okay, slope. So what we're going to do is you're going to take your slope. You're going to take the point they gave you. And we're going to do the same exact thing we've been doing throughout this entire paper. So, slope, also known as our m, is negative 3/4. Point, which is the x, y, is your 8, negative 3. Okay, try to hurry this along so it's not more than 30 minutes. X, y. Okay, so slope m, x, y. So let's do this. Y is negative 3 equals 8, or negative 3/4 times 8 plus b. Put this in your calculator, you get negative 24/4. Negative 3 equals negative 24/4 plus b. Or negative 3, when we reduce this down, becomes a negative 6 plus b. The only way to get rid of this negative 6 is to add 6 to both sides. B equals 3. So we got our b is 3. We've got our slope is negative 3/4. So we get y equals negative 3/4 x plus 3. Okay. Alright, now to get to the more difficult one, which is perpendicular lines. It's one that most people have trouble with. It's because they don't remember how to get the slope of a perpendicular line. Alright. So once again, we have to get this into the y equals mx plus b format because we need the slope. So first step is get rid of this 2x. Subtract 2x from both sides. We get 3y equals negative 2x minus 6. Divide by 3, divide by 3, divide by 3. Y equals negative 2/3 x minus 2. Okay? Our slope, negative 2/3. Now, parallel lines mean they have the same slope. Perpendicular lines means opposite reciprocal, means flip the fraction and flip the sign. This is negative, okay? So our slope. Our slope is going to be positive. It's going to be positive. Since this is negative, this one's positive. This is 2/3, flip it. It becomes 3/2. Okay? That's what opposite reciprocal means. So we have a slope, we have a point, which is 4, 4. We know the x, we know the y. Let's plug this in. Our y is 4. Our slope is 3/2. Our x is 4 plus b. Multiply this out. you're going to get 4. If you put this into your calculator, 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. That times 4 is going to be 6 plus b. Let's get b by itself. Minus 6 minus 6. B equals -2. So you know your slope, you know your b. So now you get y equals 3/2 x minus 2. Alright, last one. I'll try to make it quick. Try to solve yourself. If you can't, pay attention. Alright, perpendicular line that goes to the point 83 and perpendicular to 3x plus 4. Y equals 1. So we're going to do this the same exact way. Let's first get this in the y equals mx plus b form. That means we got 4y equals -3x plus 1. Get rid of this 4. Get rid of this 4. Y equals -3/4 x plus 1/4. Alright. So we've got this. We know that our slope is this. We want to get a perpendicular slope. This is negative, so our slope is going to be positive. Since this is negative, our slope is going to be positive. Since this is 3/4, our slope is going to be 4/3. Opposite reciprocal means flip the fraction and the sign. Point they give us is -3. So we know our x, we know our y, we know our m. Let's plug this in. -3 equals 4/3 times our x, which is 8, plus b. Alright, -3, if we plug this into our calculators, it'll be 32/3 plus b, or if you actually plugged it in, be -3 equals 10.6 repeating plus b. Subtract 10.6 repeating, subtract 10.6 repeating, -13.6 repeating equals b. Okay, let's copy that down real fast. Then we know our b, we know our slope. So let's just plug it in. All right, y equals 4/3, which are m, x minus 13.6 repeating. That's how you find perpendicular and parallel slopes. All right, thank you for listening to this whole thing. Please ask questions. For those who are still listening and are actually going to listen to this before they come to class on Thursday, know that we're going to have a quiz. This quiz is not, it's just, I'm just trying to figure out what you guys know and what you guys don't know, so that way we can pick up where we need to know. All right? Thank you.